Hey everybody, Sean here from Somm Wine Club, and I have got some wine for you. This is the Herdade de Esporão Monte Velho Tinto Biológico. This is the 2019 vintage and part of the August 2024 Somm Wine Club box. Now, Herdade de Esporão is a very, very old estate and piece of property. The estate was actually delimited in size, and the boundaries were set back in 1267. So we're talking basically an ancient fort that was used as a defensive estate for the area. They are in Alentejo, in the southern part of Portugal, in a subregion called Reguengos de Monsaraz. And Monte Velho is a line of wines that they started after the modern winery was created in 1973. They started Monte Velho in 1992. Monte Velho means old mountain or old hill, and it's named for literally the mountain that's nearby to where the winery is. It was meant as a line of wines that was built for everyday consumption. So there's a white and red, and then they have a reserve as well. And for 3 decades, these wines have been kind of a benchmark of Alentejano and Alentejo and southern Portugal in like a very approachable, easy drinking, everyday style of red and white. This is made from traditional Portuguese varieties, but there's something different. And if you've seen a bottle of Monte Velho anywhere before, you may have noticed this label's orange, not black. The reds are usually black. This is a special edition that they started doing in 2019. This is the Biologico, which is all made from organic vineyards. So a similar blend, but obviously coming from different vineyards. The percentages are going to vary, but it's Aragonés, which is Tempranillo in Portugal, is Touriga Franca, Touriga Nacional, and Trincadeira. This is all done in stainless steel, and like I said, all coming from certified organic vineyards within Reguengos de Monsaraz, the subregion within Alentejano. A great step, I think, for Esporão to produce an organic version of this wine, because this before, I'm assuming they just had some organic vineyards, some weren't, and they blended it all together. But highlighting those specific vineyards, which are going to be like handled with the utmost care. The soils are super poor in this region. You've got like fractured granite and schist, basically just like rocks in a lot of the vineyards. So it makes for some really complex and very, very interesting fruit development. 2019 was fairly hot through the first part of the season, and then it cooled off kind of in the later part of summer into veraison and into the harvest. So they were able to kind of balance out the ripening curve, make sure that they got enough complexity out of the grapes without them being too ripe. And it's delicious. Like, I've had other versions of Monte Velho. I hadn't had the Biologico before this, but like I said, it is a very similar wine, just with that extra little bonus on top. The south of Portugal and this style of wine from Alentejano, which has this really like warm, sunny character to it. Evidently, like the region's warm and sunny, so you get those expressions kind of coming through the grapes. But it's not jammy. It's not baked fruit. It's not cooked. It's not like confected. It's all just super ripe, fresh, vibrant, dark fruit. Lots of plum. Lots of blackberry. There's even a little bit of like fig, or like kind of like a sweeter dark fruit. This is all done in stainless steel. It's all destemmed, crushed into stainless steel, and then spends 3 or so months aging in stainless steel after it's finished fermentation, just to allow everything to kind of settle and integrate. And then it's put out to market. So like I said, this is a fresh, easy drinking, meant to be consumed with kind of everyday food. have the benefit of this being a few years older now. They have produced a 2021 vintage, which I think is the current vintage of the Biologico that's available globally. But we have the 2019, which means that 2 extra years have allowed the tannins to soften a little bit. When this wine was young, I'm assuming it was probably quite a bit denser in terms of tannin, being that it doesn't have any oak. Stainless steel is going to preserve everything from fruit to tannin to acid to all of those things. And this wine does have still some pretty significant grip and weight in the mouth. But like in the best way, this wine is grippy. There is a little bit of graininess to the tannin, but not so much that you are feeling like really intense, like in your mouth. Just enough that you're like, oh, this wine has some heft to it. It's 14% alcohol. We're again talking about sunny climates with warm, ripe grapes. And super like pretty and well balanced. The alcohol's not spiking. It doesn't feel like you're drinking something that's over alcoholic or out of balance. There is a lovely, almost vegetal kind of character to it. Not in like Cabernet Franc kind of way where it's like really intense bell pepper, that kind of thing, but just like farmer's market stand kind of green, herbaceous smelling freshness. I love how much acidity there is to help balance the weight of the fruit, the ripeness, and those kind of slightly grainy, grippy tannins. That, again, we've talked a lot about temperature. We talk about surface temperature and how different temperatures can influence the way that a wine tastes and feels. A little cooler, like pop it in the fridge, keep it in a nice bucket while you're out at a backyard barbecue. You're going to highlight freshness and bright fruit flavors. A little warmer, if it sits on the table for 20, 30 minutes, an hour, it could be warm to the point where you're going to feel more of the alcohol. You're going to feel kind of richer heaviness out of the wine. I would recommend splashing it in a decanter. That'll even help kind of soften even a little bit more some of those tannins. But pour yourself a little glass first so that you can see the difference. You can taste it when it's first opened, notice kind of how the wine feels, and then put it in the decanter, let it open up, and then taste it again in 15 or 20 minutes just to kind of watch the development in the wine, because you will see a drastic change in the way that the tannins kind of feel in your mouth. Being that this wine was designed specifically for everyday consumption and casual drinking and food, that's the food that you want here. So like, take this to your sunset on the beach with your little portable grill. You're doing sausages on the beach, or take it to a backyard barbecue, like pulled pork sliders or ribs or short ribs. Or the best thing about this is that it is not kind of angular in any one direction. Doesn't have too much acid, doesn't have too much tannin, doesn't have too much alcohol, doesn't have too much fruit or too little fruit. So it's really kind of well balanced and will work with a lot of different things because of that. So you can do your veggie kebabs or a grilled like portobello mushroom with balsamic burger, but you could also do ribs, or you could do those pulled pork sliders, or basically this wine will work with most anything that's being served. And the best thing to do is just enjoy it and share it with people, because that's really what this wine was designed for in the first place. So I hope that that is insightful. I hope that that gives you a little bit of kind of path guiding work to kind of get you to where you want to be with this wine. And I hope that you enjoy it. So thanks for watching. This is the Monte Velho from Herdade de Esporão. I'm Sean. Thank you. We'll see you next time.